spent my first 15 years trying to get out of the woods because I thought it was horrible. And I spent the next 20 years trying to get back. The truth of the matter is we need to be well-rounded individuals like our forefathers were.
And once again, here we are live Monday, coming at you live from the Appalachia Mountains here in good old North Carolina. This is T, your host, as always, and off to that side. Why is it always backwards? It's just this mirror. It's hard to keep track of that stuff. Pete's just a regular anymore. We got Pete. Pete's just a regular anymore on here.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
For sure. Good to have you back. Guys, we're just going to have like a little, this is the last one before Fallout right here. All these guys going to be teaching right here. Of course, Pete going to be teaching some pistola. I see you got, are you shooting for this? Are you going to let this go for a little bit, or?
Look, I don't think it's ever going to get quite as manly as that one there, but this is my winter coat. I think we'll go a little bit with it.
Man, you might get cold out there.
Exactly.
Yeah, you need to get that. Let it go. Let it go. Let it flow. Let it flow.
We'll
and then, of course,
shot.
down below, we got Mr. Brian Duff from Mine for Survival. And, of course, guys, if you have not checked out Brian, then jump over and give him some love on all his social media. Brian, what is all your social media? Where can everybody find you at? We'll do that right now.
Mind, the number 4, survival.com. Just head over there, and there's my website, podcast, all that, mindforsurvival.com.
Good stuff. And Brian's been in the business for many, many, many moons. As we got, this is a seasoned panel to say the least. And then we got the man with the plan right down here in this other corner. And when I say plan, I mean pace plan, of course. And that is our good friend, Mr. Nick Meacher with Fortune Favors the Prepared. Nick, this is the first time that we've done this on the live.
Yeah, we've talked about it a bit, but this has finally got around to doing it.
It just never transpired. So, and now everybody can hear me. I don't have to choke on this mic all night long. That's good too. Been having some microphone issues. Who we got over here in the comments? Kay Love, Terry A, Sandra Davis. Sandra, how are you doing? Patrick 7, all you awesome guys, Egghead, Larry, man, we got a full house, all kinds of awesome people. So, guys, tonight we're going to just chit chat and talk about Fallout coming up. We've got a lot of awesome classes, giveaways, camping, hanging out. We've got some giveaways tonight for all y'all out there. Do we want to just go ahead and tell everybody what they need to do, Pete, for this? You want to just go ahead and let the cat out of the bag right now?
Well, we might as well. You know, we had a good friend from Connecticut that took Troy's Gate with us last year and wasn't able to make it this year, but she had already paid. So she says, just go ahead and donate my spot to somebody. I said, that's cool. And she goes, oh, by the way, we'll do 4 or 5 more spots. I'll go ahead and take care of those also. So throughout, we'll give away one tonight to you if you want, and then we could do the raffles over there at Mountain Red or at Fallout, and then maybe some people for Tuesday following Fallout can join us in the Troy's Gate experience. And if you guys want to do that, make sure in the comments you type in hashtag Troy's Gate, because that'll get you automatically enrolled in the drawing. One caveat though, guys, and I apologize for this, but if you've already paid you're not eligible. I'm sorry. It's not. It's just one of those
Yeah.
things. This is to. She really wanted to get more people involved that couldn't be a part of it at the very beginning. So if you've ever wanted to do it, maybe didn't have the funds, maybe hit by the hurricane, whatever. Hashtag Troy's Gate. We're gonna have a drawing for the Troy's Gate experience on Tuesday following the fallout. There you go.
Awesome. No cash value, not refundable, any of that type of stuff. It's if you win it, you get you a spot. That's it. You can't trade it. You can't give it away.
Yeah. And the thing of it is, if you can't make it and you win it, I'm just going to go ahead and donate that money to the guys at Troy's Gate because that's how much I think of them, right? And let them do it. Or we'll keep your name and you can work out another date with them at some point. That's something we'll work out. But absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for that, T.
Man, that is awesome. So there you go, guys. Hashtag Troy's Gate. Throw that in the comments if you want to try to win you a spot there from the awesome person that will remain anonymous. I'm sure she wants to. We will also be giving a couple tickets away to Fallout tonight because the same individual decided to buy some tickets to Fallout and said, give these away. So if you have not bought tickets, then we're going to do the same thing. Just use the same hashtag Troy's Gate. We'll just draw twice. So is there anybody in the comments right now that has not bought tickets to Fallout and wants to come? Go ahead and throw that up there if you do, and we'll draw for a couple tickets. A couple tickets to at no cost from our friend. Also, I just saw a comment in here. Give me a second. Where did it go? It's hard to keep track of comments. I'm just not that good at this stuff. There we go. Claire Benden. Claire. That's Jerry and Claire. They will be vending there at Fallout. Guys, throw your website up there. These guys, they do body armor, and it is all American made. They are a supplier of that, and they also do training. So, guys, Jerry, go ahead and throw your contact info up there as well, so people can check out what you guys have got going on. And of course, I see FIB Preparedness LLC. A big, huge shout out to FIB as a sponsor of Fallout. We love you guys. We appreciate you. We are looking forward to having you guys with us there in just a few days. So, all these awesome people we've got here. Pete, start us out, man. What you're going to be doing a pistol, basic pistol fundamentals there at Fallout, correct?
Yeah, each day we'll spend an hour away from the table, and we'll go ahead and do just a basic fundamental thing. Sight alignment, sight picture, squeeze the trigger, grip, this, that, the other thing, proper stance. Nothing too dramatic, just to become comfortable, and maybe another set of eyes seeing how you actually do stuff is always beneficial. So, we'll be doing that once a day. I think you have me slated for.
Yep. So. I believe, and I'll look. I'm for everyone that is asking for the schedule. I apologize, but because of the hurricanes, Nick, everybody laughs. Yeah, one man show, y'all. I'm a big procrastinator. On top of it, you wrap that all together, you got yourself a big old mess. No, with the hurricanes, all that craziness, and of course Amber being in the another surgery and all this kind of stuff. I've had a bunch of instructors. Some weren't sure if they could make it. Some was in limbo, so we were waiting on them, and I think we finally got everything situated and ironed out tonight. So I'll be staying up all night to finish all this, inputting it into the schedule, and have that all out for everybody's viewing pleasure come tomorrow. And then Claire put up the phone there and email. Check those guys out for their gear, body armor, and training. So looking forward to having those guys there to hang out with us as well. So what do we got here? We had I just saw one. Let's see here. Patrick won't be. You ain't gonna be able to make it, Patrick. Man, that sucks. You need to move from that communist state of Michigan. That's what you need to do. You need to move down this way with all of us mountain people instead of in that flatland communist place that you live in on the other side of the wall. Brian Duff, give us a little bit. Give everybody. I don't know if everybody is familiar that's on here right now with you or not. Give us some of your background, man, because I did not realize until we had back and forth through email. You've done all kinds of cool guy stuff over the years.
Yeah, man. I was never. I never felt like I was had learned enough, so I kept moving on, doing the next thing. Right. So I got into preparedness when I was like 3 years old. I lived through an earthquake. I grew up in Los Angeles, and my mom came in that morning as the walls are shaking and pulled this big plaster Snoopy that was on the wall over my head. And she looked really freaked out about it. And she's like, this could have crushed your head. And at 3 years old, I'm like, that's probably not pretty smart to put the head crushing thing over your kid's bed. And after that, I was on the whole preparedness train. I was wearing seatbelts before they required all that. So I ended up getting into CPR and first aid and became a lifeguard at 16. That's why I saved my first life. And after that, I just went down. I became a firefighter, paramedic. I was in the Army, was in 3rd Ranger Battalion, was team leader there, got out, did high threat diplomatic security at Blackwater, all kinds of tactical EMS stuff. And a bunch of the last years just been working on mine survival and trying to get a book written. So that's pretty much where I'm at. And I'll see you this weekend at your place.
Yes, looking forward to it. And this will be the first time that we actually got to meet in person. So I'm going to try.
I hope you're not catfishing me, man. I hope you're not catfishing me.
No, man. This is me, 100%. You know, I'm too sexy for this shirt. No, I mean that's this guy over here. This the sexy. There he is. That's the sexy guy right there. That guy. And now he's growing out that beard and stuff, that distinguished look. You know. Oh yeah. Top notch. So you haven't finished the book yet? I thought you were.
No. It's going through the final rounds of editing right now. It's like that editing process. Just man, the editor's good. My grammar's not that great, I guess, and so she had her work cut out for her.
I got you, man. Chat GP. That's where it's at. Just throw that AI stuff. It's taking over everything anywhere. Speaking of AI, man, I threw out a picture on Mountain Readiness, and you would not believe the crap that I caught for using AI, so to speak. You know, when you use Canva, everything is AI on there. Like, I don't care what it is. It's your phone's AI, AI, computer this, cars AI, everything's AI. And I had a lady just browbeating me about AI generated photo while she browbeat me on her AI phone, her AI cell phone, probably driving down the road in her Tesla car or something. Just what a joke. But so no books. You're not going to have any books the fallout. Then I'll be
bringing some books to sell. I have some books from the Organic Prepper and some other stuff to come back there and sell. But I really love coming in just to meet people, man. Like I'm the worst vendor coming to like do stuff for myself because I just like meeting the people, right? And so to me,
you're not the worst vendor.
Okay, well,
that's the worst vendor right there. This guy right here, a book writer with all kinds of books, shows up at the first Mountain Readiness with like 3 books. He's got 500 of them. He shows up with 3, and he was like, "Man, I sold all 3 of my books. I should have brought more." I was like, "Man, this guy, I don't know about this guy." For a preparedness guy, he come not so prepared.
It was all stockpiled at the house. I'm not going to give it. Hey,
no doubt about it.
Quick note about Brian: if you've never had a chance to sit down and talk with him, go to his booth at Fallout and pick his brain about a lot of stuff. He's a wealth of knowledge, first of all, and I'm telling you what, this guy he runs a podcast like you would not believe. It was the best interview I ever did in my life with this guy. So
Oh yeah.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah,
I
he's
appreciate that.
he's smooth. That's a smooth operator right there. He is. I was on his pod. He just, some people have that gift. I'm not there. There's people that have the gift of gab, and then there's just people that run their mouth. I'm a mouth runner, and then Brian is
But
the
see,
gift of gab.
you have the beard and you have the woods accent, right? Like,
right.
you know, I got
Just
the
say it.
I got
Be
the
like,
surfer thing
you
from
look
Southern
like
California.
you cut
but man,
straight out the trailer with your woodsman jack face. Hillbilly. Just say it. Just say it, Brian. Be like, you are a hillbilly. That's what Brian is currently saying. And you were correct. I mean, lived in a tent and all that kind of stuff. It's gonna rub off. There's no way around it. So now, Brian, you're going to be teaching situational awareness,
yeah,
which I love. There is a lot of situational awareness classes, and I love going to each one. People see situational awareness and they're like,
Yep.
But you would be surprised if you give them a chance how different a lot of people teach situational awareness. So I'm looking forward to what you've got going on. Do you have a sneak peek?
Yeah, man. I mean, when it comes to situational awareness, a lot of people they kind of cling on to, they get into like level 1 of it, right? And they look at the OODA loop and they just kind of regurgitate, it's about being more aware. But it's a lot different than that. I just actually did my podcast today. I wanted to get a rehearsal for this weekend. So I did I went through the course that I'm doing up at Mountain Readiness. And if you understand like the phases of situational awareness that you go through, from observing objective reality to perceiving reality to monitoring if you have a change in your baseline and if you detect any shifts in that, there's so many phases and it can get so deep that you're able to go in though. And there's a couple of parts of situational awareness and decision making that you can actually fine tune. And that if you put your effort there, you can pick up your situational awareness to not only where you're like, hey, I'm getting ready for disaster. I see a bad guy walking down the street and I know that guy's there. So we always talk about, but you can see opportunities. You can use it to fine tune your life because you start paying attention to what is your sixth sense, your subconscious telling you. There's a lot more to it than just what we typically hear. And so I go really deep into it. I was up in Michigan for about 3 years during COVID, hanging out in the woods of Michigan, walking around the woods, trying to figure it all out. So that's what came out of the book and everything.
And there is some, and I talked a little crap about Michigan, but I do enjoy. We used to ride across the Straits of Mackinac up into the Upper Peninsula and take the Harleys through there down to, cruised all the way up to Whitefish Point. So that area right there, love Michigan. I'm just giving you crap, Patrick, because you Yankees up there, but we lived in the same area, Fort Wayne, Indiana. So, which I'm not actually from there. I just got stuck there for about 20 years. It happens. But yeah, you can get lost up there for sure. For sure. Just we rode, I bet you we went 30 minutes, 45 minutes riding and never saw a single person or house while we were up there. Ted Nugent is up there for that. That's why he's got, I think, 1,000 acres in the Upper Peninsula. So we actually thought about moving there. And then I was down there and it snowed like 3.5 feet in April. And I was like, nope, out. Not for me. There's no way I'm going to live in that type of crap. It's just not for me. So Mr. Nick Meacher, comes down to Nick now. Nick, you are the comms guy. You are the guy that I still haven't studied to take the test whatsoever. But I should, but I haven't done it yet. So what all are you offering here at Fallout? Because you've got quite a few classes. One being, of course, we're testing on Saturday.
Yep.
You said we've got a few people testing for the ham test. And you're going to do a class on some radio programming. And then what all you got? What all you got for us?
It depends what you end up putting on the schedule.
Right.
I'm
whatever you sent me is what I'm going to stick on there.
Yeah, that might change based on what questions people ask. So, my background has been law enforcement, paramedic, and then moved into emergency management. So my focus comes from, 30 some years in emergency management, so I look at it on a different perspective than some of the others. And I spent a lot of time in communications and what we call continuity of communications. So making sure that you still have communications when other things break. And so that over the years has been termed the PACE plan: primary, alternate, contingency, and emergency. So basically 4 levels. I also talk about trigger points. So, when you see something happening, ideally beforehand, like hurricane, you've got several days of warning and testing everything, etc. And so, we kind of roll that into developing your communications plan, because most people don't do the research. They'll buy a radio, and we all know I don't have one on my desk. I forgot to grab it, and the box that they're in is behind a whole bunch of stuff that I packed to bring with me, and I'm like, oh, should have grabbed one. But everybody goes out and they buy the Baofeng, and then I'll stick it in a box and say, when things happen, I'll bring it out. But, as we know, if you don't practice any skill, it's not going to be there when you need to use it, especially in a high stress situation. And, everybody looks at the Tekawaki or the SHTF scenario, and that's different for everybody. The Tekawaki one, Tekawaki one is, there's 2 scenarios that ends up being. And a couple of nights ago, we had a massive coronal mass ejection, solar flare that kind of lit up the sky. We got some good pictures. People down as far as, I think Alabama actually got some good pictures too. But one of the days, that might be the thing. But 90% of your emergencies and disasters are like we've seen in the last week. Hurricanes, tornadoes, things like that. And so I also, one of the other workbooks I have is how to actually properly assess what your hazards and threats are, so that you can make proper plans. So we'll talk about the family emergency plan, which is basically a fill in the blank. You can take the information and it just tells you how to fill it out, and it puts your plan together. Because actually, that was my daughter's idea. I got to give her credit, because she's like, Dad, people aren't just going to go look stuff up and figure out how to do it. You need to put it in front of them so they can fill it out with crayons. And so that's how that started. Yeah, because if you go I looked any book on the market, and they tell you how to do it, but they don't actually give you the blank pages blueprint. Oh, look, here's all the boxes to fill in. So I didn't put any of that kind of instruction in. They're all on the webpage. So, there's a separate part to the webpage that tells you how to do it, but it's pretty intuitive. All the boxes are there to fill out. So I'll do one on that, do one on the communications planning, how to figure out what you can use. Looking at different options. I've got some of these radios I'm going to bring along. That doesn't show. These are all over the internet right now. They've got some advantages and disadvantages. We'll talk to these, because people up in Western North Carolina, until they got a whole Starlinks, these were about the only way you were going to get a message out. This or something similar, which doesn't want to focus. We'll talk to these. We a lot of us have these, the standard ham radio. That this one can do more than just ham stuff. I'll even bring along the scanner so you can see what that is. And so if you've got questions, stop at the booth, table. I'm going to be somewhere around, Chris and Pete, somewhere up there, I think. And so stop in and ask any questions you want. We'll figure it out. And then we will do somewhere we've got on the schedule to actually run you through how to actually program the Baofeng. And I have some little cheat cards that it's really like 5 or 6 steps. And once you've done it a few times, it's actually pretty straightforward. But you need to know what to program in it. And so we'll tell you where to find those resources as well.
All right. And I'm going to have to come see you too, because you said, you get your Baofeng and you put it back in the box. I'm that guy, except for I have 8 of them. Yeah, the last I checked. I think there's 8 of them in the box, and I don't even think I actually took but one of them out. So the rest of them are still brand new in the box, just sitting up there on the shelf. So shame on me. It's one of my weaknesses. Comms are. And it's mainly because if the world ends, I'm one of those guys that just not really into talking to anybody. And that's a horrible thing to say. It is. It is. And I need to be able to, but it's like all kind of the last thing. I'm like, yeah, I really don't. We had all the hurricane stuff come through here. I was I was not talking to anybody. I was just doing my own thing right here. And out of everything that you just picked up there, though, Nick, which one for what we experienced here in North Carolina? Which one? Which one? What is the
That's
premier, the primo, which everyone should have had?
Well, if you look at that particular scenario, right, it comes down to the emergent, the last ditch one, which is one of these little gizmos. There's a couple of brands out there. This one I have had for, well, probably since I met Brian many years ago in Colorado. So that's how long I've had this thing. So probably close to 10 years. It's a Garmin InReach Mini. And they just changed their plan, which I need to look it up, but I pay about $15 a month. It gives me about 10 free text messages, but they just changed that and upped the number of ones I get for that price. But in a disaster like what happened in North Carolina, when you've got no cell service, and you don't have a Starlink, this is the only way you're going to get out communications. It is a satellite transmitter receiver. So it pairs with your cell phone with an app and takes your text messages and it sends it over the satellite network to either another one of these or somebody that's got a cell phone in an area that has service. Plus it has a SOS button on the side if you're really in deep doo-doo, and it sends your location and they will then send somebody to come and find you.
So that's a basically satellite link, little text box. That's what it is. So the Baofeng, all that would have done no one any good, is what you're telling me.
No, it's going to work within a limited range because all the repeaters were knocked out. So you're not going to extend your range. So you're limited to the range of the handheld, I don't know that area very well. I just know it's from pictures. It's mountainous. It's got a lot of trees. You might get a couple of miles out of it, but you've got to be on a frequency that somebody else is listening to you. And that's part of your planning.
Part of the plan. Should have had this set up prior to, okay, in case of worst case scenario, everybody get on this channel and here we go.
Yep.
So
that's part of your plan. Yep.
That's it. Out here in Chit Chat land, guys, is there anyone out here that is listening? Let's see here. I'm in the private messages here too. Is there anyone listening that does not have tickets to to Fallout coming up this weekend and wants to go? Somebody hit me in the messages if you want tickets. And if we don't have enough people for the raffle side of it here, the giveaway, I'll just give you a spot. Let's do it like that. There's another thing too. Check that out. No license required for that Garmin, Nick.
Correct. It is literally it's on the Iridium satellite network, which is one of the largest. And you buy it, you go onto Garmin's website, you set it up, you set up a couple of the people that you want it to automatically notify if you hit the SOS button. And then you download the app to your phone. And if you need to send a text message, you just type it in and it sends it out through the device. Now there are larger ones.
Nice.
They have different models. Now they got quite a few different models. There's another couple of companies out there. When I first started looking at these, there were only two, Garmin and I can't think of the name of the other one. But the other one was on a different satellite network, and the Iridium still is a larger network. Now, I will say that if you followed any of the news, and September the 14th, so T-Mobile has been working with Starlink, and they have been putting LTE payloads, so basically a cellular tower, for want of a better term, on Starlink satellites. They had 760 of them up all over the U.S., and September the 14th, they actually tested sending a satellite wireless emergency alert message to T-Mobile phones, which was successful. when Hurricane Helen hit, and also through Milton, during that process, T-Mobile got what they call a special temporary authorization, because it's not been authorized by the FCC yet, to actually enable it. And they turned it on and enabled it for any cell phone. So any cell phone could receive emergency messages. And if you had a T-Mobile phone, you could actually send messages. And then Apple, who's been working with another satellite provider, enabled it for theirs. And then T-Mobile enabled it for any cell phone. They opened up their entire network for anywhere in Western North Carolina that, because it's using cellular signal and not like Apple is, it's a different equipment in the phone. It's working on any phone. So as long as you can see the sky, they were giving them connectivity to use Starlink.
Nice. And then Apocalyptic Prepper, let's see here, saw one that said 700 miles. Is that the range? Is that the kind of range?
So if we're talking the Garmin's, the InReach Minis, it's from ground to wherever the Iridium satellites are. So most satellites are around 50 miles or so above the Earth. So you're talking to the satellite, and then that satellite comes either down to a ground station to then put it into the regular phone network to go to a cell phone, or if it's going to another one of these devices, it basically transfers it between satellites until it finds the other device.
Awesome. And then Seth, I see Seth out here. He said was going to try to, Seth, since you're the only one, you win. There you go.
Congratulations.
You win a ticket. Congratulations. Just see me up there at the booth, and then we're done. It's that easy. So anybody else out there, if you don't have tickets, we've got a couple that were donated, like we said, from an awesome individual. And couldn't thank her enough. She is great. Guys, get in there and jump on that hashtag Troy's Gate too. That is not a cheap gig to go to Troy's Gate. Brian, are you going to Troy's Gate?
At some point I will. Right now, I've been sitting up here in Georgia, North Carolina for a bit. After Texas for a while.
After this weekend, you going to head over there with us?
Nah, I got to head back to Texas, man. I've been on the road about 3 or 4 weeks. I'm going nuts. I gotta get back home and make sure.
Well, that's
ever since you got people wandering around neighborhoods and busting into houses and stuff. Whenever I leave now, I'm worried that I'm gonna come home and find a family of 30 hanging out in my house.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, no, that is true. That is true. What's one more day though? What, it becomes 32 instead of 30 people? I mean, what's two more? Doesn't even matter at that point.
I'm recovering, man. I'm in recovery. Why are you doing this to me?
So you got stuck in this. You were in Georgia, is that right?
No, I was up in Tryon, outside of between Nashville and Spartanburg.
Oh, okay. You just headed down to Georgia after that. So
yeah, I decided to get out of
all that.
Yeah, I just like, man, there's, they were out of water. The power was gone. I was staying in Airbnb. It took a massive tree. Part of the house looked like it exploded. I mean, I've seen trees on houses, but this, and so my truck was banged up, and I'm like, I got stuff, but I don't need to be what am I going to do? Just hang out and, drink up people's water and stuff. So I got out of the area for a while before coming back.
So you had a tree blast through the Airbnb that you were staying in.
Yeah.
And hit your truck. Man,
and smashed up the truck. Yeah.
Good grief.
Hey, nobody got hurt though. Where we were at, nobody was hurt. So, obviously it was interesting though. I know Nick talking about the comms. So the big part of the hurricane came Friday morning up there. Like that's when it hit us and all the trees came down. We had cell service up until later that night, and it went out that evening. And I think that's when all the flooding was hitting down in the valleys, hitting Nashville and stuff. And it went straight to SOS mode. And when I left, hurricane hit on Friday. I left on Saturday afternoon when they got the roads cleared enough to get out. And it probably took me, 20 miles heading down the interstate before I got to where I didn't have, or 20 minutes before I had cell service again.
Wow.
It was just completely dead. There was nothing.
Man.
Well, one of the things that and I did a lot of research on this for the LTE radios, which is what this other one is.
Mhm.
And plus, because of what I do where I work, I understand part of it that cell towers actually carry multiple different signals, and most towers do not have every provider on. So usually, because it's usually a third party that owns the towers, but typically you won't see Verizon and AT&T or Verizon and T-Mobile on the same tower. They might be within, a quarter of a mile or so of each other, but typically not on the same tower. So if you're lucky enough, to have a business phone and a personal phone, getting them on different carriers is always a good plan. And then the other thing is to realize that the first thing that goes out is voice capability on a cell tower. And then usually you can still get, depending on the outage, you may still get text messages through, and the system will stack those. So even if 10 people send it at the same time or almost the same time, it will send one and then send another. So it needs very little bandwidth, whereas a voice conversation needs a lot more. And then data is another element. So all the apps that you have on your phone, like Zello, they use data, so they still may work. But the other feature that's on cell towers is what's called wireless emergency alerts. And if you get Amber Alerts, that's the same thing. But you always want to, especially in a disaster, you want to make sure you've got those turned on in your phone. A lot of people go in and turn them off. But that's how, in some areas, they were able to get messages out to people. In fact, you can go to a public website, and you'll see right now, if you're driving down Interstate, was it 40? What's the one that runs east-west through North Carolina? 40?
40, the one that just got completely destroyed.
Correct. When you get within about 30 miles of where it's shut down, you'll start getting those because they drew a polygon around the interstate. You drive into it, it's going to give you an alert on your phone. Hey, it's shut at this point, or no vehicles over 30 feet past here. And so that's how they get those out. And they were sending messages out like, we have a feeding and water at this firehouse or this place or this church or whatever. So that's how they were getting messages out. The last one is AM radio. So AM radio is part of that integrated public alert and warning system, IPAWS, which is what the wireless emergency alerts are. And so there's a whole bunch of those stations, and they send those messages to those radio stations and they put them out. So you can buy, a cheap handheld AM FM radio. I carry one in my backpack. Shove a couple of AA batteries in it, find your local AM station, because those stations can transmit hundreds of miles, which is the whole point of an AM station. And they're doing the same thing. Those stations that are operating in that area are broadcasting, regular messages to folks and say, hey, there's water here, or if you need help or whatever, if you can get to this place. And that's how they were getting a lot of that information out, and still are. Which should be part of your communications plan, knowing what those are, knowing your AM stations and stuff.
Right. Super important. That's why I'm going to have to hang out with you guys more. That's what it is. Pete, what do you carry around your truck? I got to ask Brian the same thing, because Brian whipped out a chainsaw. I saw all over social media, which I applaud, because I have an infatuation with chainsaws. I'm not going to lie. I think I own like 13 steel chainsaws. I don't know why. I just like them. It's a woodsman thing. It's that hillbilly woodsman thing. It's like, look how big my steel is. I love steel chainsaws. So
that's better than being a Texas chainsaw murderer kind of thing.
That's in the off time. We don't talk about that side of what I do. What do you carry around? You guys just got the hurricane, of course. How bad did that hit you in your area, Pete?
It was pretty significant. I mean, we ended up with about 95-mile-an-hour gusts. We were in Cat 1 the whole time. Luckily, I'm high and dry. I prepare for these kind of things the best you can. You can never really prepare for a tornado or something like that. But just a few miles, I showed a video on my podcast last Thursday, or well, actually, I preempted a podcast on Saturday night, I think. Down the road from us, I mean, there's devastation. It's mostly flooding is the big issue down here. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot of people that are hurting right now. So Luckily, we're not one of them. We're able to mitigate all the damages we had, even if it took me getting up into the attic in the middle of the hurricane 3 times to make it happen. But I'm not complaining. So we're good. We're all good here, brother.
Awesome. What's your standard get home bag? I mean, you've got to have one, right? I mean, what is do you have a get home bag?
I do,
And
of
what is
course.
kind of the main contents of the
Oh,
get home bag?
We had mentioned this before. You got to drink, right? You got to have water. You got to have a way to get some fresh water in your system. 3 days. I carry a 3-day pack with me. Rush 72, usually from 511, is what I've carried for the last 10, 15 years. And everything I need is right in there. And for the most part, water, food, and shelter. What else do I need? I can walk home 3 days, usually from where I'm at. Now, if I'm going a further distance, like we're going to Fallout, I utilize a service that Mike White does called Comms Connect US. And he basically, what he does is he monitors my entire path to where I'm going. And if should something happen, should I miss a check-in, he knows exactly where I'm at within 3 foot, and he can send help as long as I have a cell signal available to me.
Now, if you had a ham radio with APRS, that's how he's tracked me on trips as well.
Yeah, so if you're not going to use the Zillow app, you use the AMR the ham radio, and absolutely he could certainly do that. So I don't roll heavy with preparedness stuff. Now I will say with the things that spit out lead, yeah, I roll pretty damn heavy. But as far as preparedness stuff, always carry a 3-day backpack wherever I go.
Awesome. Same for you, Brian, and a chainsaw to boot.
Well, when I hit the road, so I have a GMC, the biggest dually you could get in the year in 21. I carry a 100-gallon fuel tank of diesel in the back that's direct plumbed into my tank. So I think I have about a 2,200 mile range with it. And then I have the construction toolbox across the back. So pretty much anything I need is in the toolbox on there. And then depending on where I'm going, I always have like my 3-day bag with me. And then if I'm going on a long trip, I actually throw in a bigger backpack that's just empty with a few things in it. So basically I can take all my stuff out of my 3-day pack and I can throw it in that and hit the road with more stuff than that I might need for a long time.
Better to have it and not need it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
And then ditch it if it's too much. Better to have it and not need it. I like the storage tank though. A bunch of people got stranded right there after the hurricane because of the fuel. And of course, cash was king at that time. Nobody could swipe cards. So if you didn't have cash, you weren't getting anything. And then, they ran out of fuel. I was talking to Brian Loftus, who was right outside of Saluda, and he got stuck in a parking lot of the hotel they were at for 3 days, waiting on fuel to come in. So I didn't know we were looking at trucking him some fuel down just so him and a couple of the guys there could get out. But yeah, that's a great addition right there. I always carry fuel cans in the back of my rig as well, just for that. That there, if you can do it, is well worth. Let's see here. I got here. Let's see. Judy Joseph McKenzie. Are you watching? Do you need some tickets to Fallout? I think that is what you are saying. I'll tell you what, guys. Anybody that needs a ticket to Fallout, I think we've got like 5, 6 adult passes. I gave one to Seth. If you guys would join Mountain Readiness, just subscribe to Mountain Readiness. Go to www.mountainreadiness.com, subscribe, and shoot me an email on there and say, hey, I want to come to Mountain Readiness, and you offered some tickets that were donated, and give me your name and the number that are in your party, and I will accommodate. Let's just do it like that. That will be way easier. And there's Matt King, my buddy Matt King. I know you're working hard, brother, especially on a bunch of crap for me. So I feel bad. I feel bad because I I'm running out of friends. Basically, when you run an event like this, you start running out of friends, family.
Hmm.
You know, everybody. After a while, everybody just disappears, and it's just you, yourself, and that's it. That's it. That's where we're almost there. Um, do we have any videos, Russ? And of course, thanks to Russ, the Wizard of Oz behind the curtains. Do we have any videos we want to throw up? We're still. Are you full now, Pete, on your pistol class, or you still got some area, some room?
No, we can still do it if we get any more people, which I'm more than happy to take on. We'll just get some assistant instructors there. That way, my span of control is within normal limits, and we'll look. Let's get trained. I'm not going to tell anybody they can't get trained. Not going to happen.
Absolutely. So look, guys, if you win a spot the Troy's Gate on Tuesday, the 22nd, then you're already going to be there Monday. Go ahead and sign up for Pete's class on Monday, which is the pistol out on the range at the same facility. You get a free day at Troy's Gate, and you get that Monday getting all knocking the dust off. You know, getting your time in on the range. So just gonna throw that out there. You get a free day paid at Troy's Gate. Just pay for Pete's and get that extra training in. Get that extra range time in there. So yeah, go ahead, Russ. Hit us with a video. Oh yeah, getting them rounds in.
Well, I had to change my underwear after that one, man. That was rough. But look, that's just one scenario in the Troy's Gate experience. And the great part about this, and look, I wasn't going to go. T made me go. He's dragging me by my ears. Let's go. You're going to go. Good thing about that is live people are talking to you. They're calling you everything but a prepper, right? And they are,
Right.
they're, and
Sometimes
they
a mother
really,
prepper.
you're right. They know how to push your buttons. And the great part is it's your firearm. It's live rounds, and you get to see how you're going to react in a stressful situation. Now, I will say some things came out of my mouth that during this event that I didn't think I had in me, but I went and did my things at the church, and now I'm saved again. So good to go.
That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it, man. Is that repent and then you move on. You move on. That's what you're missing out on, though, Brian. I'm gonna tell you now. See, Brian, if you want to stick around Monday, I'm gonna have instructors there Monday. You don't have to stay around Tuesday to do it. We can do it Monday the 21st, and I know with a man of your caliber, the stuff that you've done is you've done all kinds of cool stuff. But I promise you, have you ever done anything like this, Brian? Like
No, I'm looking forward to getting to Troy's Gate at some point, man. Because you're over in northern Florida, right?
No, we're doing it
yeah.
right by Fallout over there in
That's
Lenore,
right by-
North
that's right.
Carolina.
Oh, I thought I thought
only-
you guys you're like, oh, we'll go down on Tuesday. I thought you're like, oh, I'm driving down to Florida on Tuesday. Like,
No.
yeah, just drive around the corner there. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, no, Lenore, like literally 45 minutes from the campground.
Okay.
So you're already there. You're literally already there. So Pete's going to be teaching his class on Monday up at the top on the range, but I've already talked to Randy over there at Troy's Gate, and we are going to we're going to bring instructors on Monday, the 21st, because a lot of instructors, they want to get on the road. So if you want to go, I'm gonna tell you, man, you're right there. You literally have to stay one more day. You can catch the full day, and you need to get Randy on your podcast as well.
Oh.
That dude. You and Randy, like two peas in the pod. You guys, you cool operators. Suave, debonair. You've got the gift. It would be a great show, I promise you. You talk to Randy, you go over there and hang out for the day. It's gonna blow your mind. It'll be a great show. You need to get Randy. We get Randy on here every month or two. It's been a little bit. I need to get Randy back over here too. Randy has some awesome videos. If you want to, let's see, give one of the spots. Yes. Do we want to? It's 51 minutes into the hour. Do we want to go ahead and draw, or do we want to wait a little bit, Pete? Do you want to wait till the last bit?
I'd say wait to the last bit, guys. If you want to win a spot at Troy's Gate, all you have to do is hashtag Troy's Gate, and you'll automatically be enrolled in the raffle we're going to have at the end of this podcast. And that's a free day at Troy's Gate. And it's a great value. It's a great value, especially when you're doing it for free. And I tell you what, it's life changing. It is life changing. So
it is, and that's Tuesday, the 22nd, which means Monday. Might as well sign up for Pete's pistol class too. Just go ahead and do the whole thing.
Well, if you're doing them in May, I'm definitely signing up. I'm going to take the extra leave.
You ain't going to be able to make it Monday? You won't be able to make it Monday? We're doing it every single event, because Troy's Gate is just, when you talk mental preparedness, there is nothing that gets close to what Randy has put together over there. I mean, that guy is, I don't know how he thought it up. I mean, another level of, I even told Randy, I said, you are a warped, disturbed individual. Is what you are.
Yeah, I've done one of those similar kind of, looking at that video. I've done something similar, but it wasn't live rounds. It was sims.
Yeah,
but the same thing. They really amp you up, and they know how to amp you up.
And the one thing they do is you're actually talking to a live person. It's not a simulation. You're talking to a live person. So the scenario may be it's a home invasion. This guy's telling you what he's going to do to your wife and kids. Okay, I mean, this is the kind of thing that really gets your mind twisted. And he may reach for something, but it may be a cell phone. You don't know what it is, so you really have to go through these critical steps. You really have to take in the environment, and that's what that first day, that pistol class, the first day is. Basically, getting you ready for that Troy's Gate experience. You're not going to learn the single man CQB house during that, but it's going to get your mind ready and get the fundamentals ready for that Troy's Gate experience. So I'm telling you what, it changed my outlook on a lot of things.
Yes. Yep. Same here. Yeah, Brian, you need to stick around if you can, man. You won't be sorry. It is worth the extra day. One more day, man. And then FIB, yeah, man. What does it matter? You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Hey, we got your back here. If you end up disappeared, we know your wife did it. We got your back.
And if you stay the extra 2 days, you'll know how to defend yourself against her. You're fine. Just stay.
Boom. Isn't that what it's about? In all honesty, guys, seriously, we talk all the time. Training. You got a piece of gear, use it. Shame on me. I haven't used my bow thing, but I'm going to. But when it comes to training, don't just have that pistol and stick it in the drawer. Get out there and use it. Don't just run on a flat range. Actually train with it. All that kind of good stuff. It's important, especially where we're getting at in this day and age. We're at 55 minutes into the hour. Pete, what you got, man, to wrap us up for the day?
Look, I'm just excited, guys. I'm excited to meet Brian in person. You know, he has that voice behind the radio that's just like, oh, everybody wants to meet Brian now. So I'm looking for
radio.
I'm looking forward to the event as always. I'm looking forward, and for those of you that haven't been to one of these events, everybody is just so nice. You're not going to meet a bad person the whole darn thing. So get there, get trained, do your thing, and you will not regret it. I promise you.
Awesome. Go ahead and do it, Brian. Sunday. Just something along those lines. Just that.
I can't do that. Dude, I can't do that. I'm already thinking Sunday.
I love it. Brian, I am super looking forward to meeting you as well, man. All jokes aside, it's going to be a great time, guys. Look, it may not be the biggest of the events. We've had a bunch of craziness that's went on because of the hurricanes, and people can't make it. And we've been, flip-flopping instructors back and forth. And we have instructors that were coming that can't now because they're actually working out in the field with doing disaster relief. We've replaced those instructors with other instructors and filled this and that. It's a little bit crazy. But at the end of the day, these gatherings are about socializing with like-minded individuals and people. That's what it comes down to. And learning from one another, not closing ourselves off, hiding back in the back 40 and locking everything down and only staring through the peephole. It's going out there and growing, because when we all come together and we spend time together, we learn and we grow as people. You stop growing as a person when you close yourself off from interacting with other human beings. But Brian, what you got to close us out with, man?
Hey, man, I think a lot of people are struggling right now. So, while we're heading up there next couple of days, I think, keep your thoughts and your prayers with all those people. They're still digging out from, Helene and everything. So they're in a hurt locker right now.
Yeah.
Amen. And if you can help, whatever ways you can help. I'll actually be visiting them again tomorrow. We have a local place over in West Jefferson that is husband and wife. I believe I'll find out for sure tomorrow, but I believe they were either starting a restaurant or they had just opened up when this happened. They shut the whole thing down, and they are serving 500 to 800 people a day out of their place, and they're doing it all from donation. I mean, stuff like that, when you hear about just a husband and wife said, you know what, screw it, we're just going to help people. And it's just normal people doing amazing things like that. 500 to 800 people a day they are serving. They are taking in donations. I'm going to go over there and take them some stuff. We're going to talk a little bit, see if we can do anything else with them. But like Brian said, man, keep everybody in your prayers. There's a lot of people that still are not in the out of the weeds. Not only that, there's still a whole lot of areas that are just screwed up. I mean, there is still people without power in these areas over here, just because it's so tore up. So keep everybody in your prayers. Nick, what you got for us, man?
Well, and I had something else, but I'll say this because you're saying, from what you're talking about, you have to remember at the end of the day, you are your own responder. Nobody's coming. The mechanism, and you guys have all been, or Brian and Pete know this anyway, from emergency services, when your local emergency services, fire and ambulance and et cetera, are devastated, and you've got no roads coming in, you've got no communications, help is 5 to 7 days away, because it's got to basically bulldoze its way in, and you can't just suddenly put a whole bunch of ambulances or fire trucks together. They've got to come from somewhere. So you always have to bear that in mind, 5 to 7 days minimum. And there's a quote, and there's two quotes, and I use them often. One is the tagline on my website, Semper Paratus, Semper Gumby, always prepared, always flexible. But the other one I like is from Sun Tzu, which is plan for what is difficult while it is easy. Do what is great while it's small. In other words, plan now. Don't wait till the proverbial hits a circulating object. It's easy to do it now. It's easy to take these classes. It's easy to find information. If Brian's got a ton of stuff. I've got a ton of stuff on my website. It's easy to get your ham license. It's easy to learn. All these things are easy when you take small bites at it. And the more you practice, the more easier it is when, disaster strikes, because your brain is in survival mode. And if you haven't practiced it, you are not going to have those skills. You're not going to remember them. Come and learn.
That's it. Couldn't have said it better. And on that, speaking of training, Pete, let's take us away here with this giveaway, this awesome giveaway for Troy's Gate.
Okay, so guys, we had somebody donate a few Troy's Gate experiences to some of the viewers here. We're also going to go ahead and give some, T's going to give some away during the raffles at Fallout. So here are the rules as far as this particular drawing is. If you've already paid, I'm sorry, you are not eligible. I know that stinks, I'm sorry, but this benefactor wants as many people as they can to experience this Troy's Gate scenario-based system. So unfortunately, if your name comes up and you type that hashtag Troy's Gate and you've already paid, we're going to roll to the next one because we want as many people to get this training as possible. So other than that, this is for Tuesday, the 22nd. Now, I'll have your name. I'll keep your name. I'll give it to Randy. Regardless, when I leave there on Tuesday, I'm paying for your spot. So if you can work something out with Randy for another date, that's on you. I'll give him your name and your money. So that's what I got, T.
Awesome. Without further ado, the man behind the curtain, go ahead and roll it. See who's getting this awesome piece of prize.
Run it. She already paid.
Christy
She's already in.
Paid.
Oh, doesn't that stink, right? Isn't that the way it works always?
So technically, yeah, I want to say this. Christy, you won. You did.
You are a winner.
But you didn't. You are a winner.
You're in our eyes, Christy, you're a winner. You're a winner. And the fact that you're laying next to Guy right now makes you a double winner. Unfortunately, we're going to roll this again.
Let's do it again.
Maybe if it works like this. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I don't know. See, this is on Russ here. I'm hands off this kind of stuff. This is way beyond my capabilities. I'm just some stupid hillbilly that likes chainsaws. I mean,
let's see the higher tech, easier, the more it is to mess it up.
Yeah, so I think otherwise, if you run this again like this, Russ, everyone's going to have to type in hashtag Troy's Gate again. I think is the way that's going to work. Well, let's see. Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens.
Nope.
Maybe.
It will allow. It says there are 8 entries. So we're going to try and roll it again.
Push the button.
Chrissy, you are a winner in our eyes, though. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Hey,
there you go. Bullshit.
Oh.
You're the winner. So get with me at Fallout. I'll give you the particulars on the Troy's Gate experience, and we thank the benefactor from up in Connecticut for this bullshit. You will certainly enjoy it, and it'll be an eye-opening experience for you. So cool.
Absolutely. Well, guys, I appreciate your time. Time is hard to come by in this day and age, and it's definitely very valuable, especially when you start getting up in age like we are. But I'm looking forward to seeing all you guys there at Fallout here in just a few days. I'm going to stay up all night so I can keep my promise and punch out this this schedule that is overdue. So I'm not gonna run this yap too much more. But awesome time hanging out with all you guys, man. I really appreciate it, and of course all you people out there in social media land, we appreciate you out there. And just remember, if you're going to move with purpose. We will see you guys here in just a few days. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next week.